Hello, welcome to Heavy Handed Hobbies. This thing is hard to find a good position for this. So this is going to be my first attempt at trying to paint through the camera. Now, I've never actually explained why I created a Heavy Handed Hobbies channel, and it's just here's a good example is I have a pretty crappy little brush here. It's nothing special. It's not some elitist special sable hair. Well, actually, it might be sable hair. But it's just nothing special. And then here for my water, I have a spray can lid. I have a very old palette. I have Army Painter paints. I don't have Vallejo or something really fancy. So it's just getting things done without a lot of fancy crap. And so what the plan was here was I wanted to give this thing a look like it is on fire. Now, I don't know that it's really coming off that well. So to create this contrast, I kind of wanted to make this like dead, like the back to be like a cooled lava, kind of flat, not glossy, cooled lava. And layering wise, I should have worked a different direction, but I went with making him red and then trying to like pull highlights from that. And it wasn't really the way to do this. You kind of with this you kind of have to work in reverse, I think. So what we lost by doing it in the wrong order is that ideally we would have had these yellow highlights happening between the scales here, if that makes sense. Wow, it's really hard to do this through the camera. Sorry, first time doing it through the camera. So these cracks here, we would have ideally wanted to have like yellow kind of shining through it. And that's not quite what's happening here. So I wanted to give it the feeling that it's warm. Now I will go through and put gloss on this to give it a kind of a shiny, or at least semi-gloss, and to give it this kind of shiny feeling of it's hot, it's liquid. But I think first we need to go in and fix, like, do a little bit of blending in here, and to do that, I am going to use lava orange. Can't get much more literal than that, can you? So this is Army Paints lava orange, and as you can see, it frankly doesn't. I mean, it looks like lava because it looks like it's not mixed. Now I don't know. I have shaken this for a while trying to get this mixed up, and I don't know if this is just something they wanted to happen, like they wanted it to look that way. Now, let's see here. Because, I mean, it's supposed to be lava and it looks like lava. So if we take the paint tray here and put some on it, I don't think there is really a mix of. Now this is acrylic paint, so you're not going to get any bleed over, but let's try to clean this up. Here, hold on. I don't like these lids. You end up just, if you don't take care of things, it just ends up getting worse and worse and worse. So let's clean that up. Okay. And as you can see in here, yeah, I mean, it looks like there's yellow in with the orange, and huh. Okay. Let's keep this close by. All right, now I'm going to try to paint through a camera. So yeah, looking at the actual paint itself, you can see, I don't know if I can get it up close enough. You can see yellow and orange mixed together in there. So yeah, it's not just an effect. So I'm just going to try to do it lightly. Not sure this is even doing exactly what I'd like it to do. I think from a distance, it's all right. I just want to create a blend. Hmm. Yeah, it's not bad. Now you kind of have to work in reverse when you're doing something to look like lava. Is normally you do um, dark shadows in the cracks and highlights on the top, and this is kind of, because it's supposed to be lava, it's kind of reversed. You want it to be lighter in the cracks because that gives the feeling that there's light and heat down inside. Have to be careful not to cover up the yellow, otherwise you kind of defeat what you just created last time. But I think it does kind of it is kind of getting there. Now, of course, all this would be much more wonderful with an airbrush, but I haven't used an airbrush since, I don't know, art school back in college. And that is just maybe something I will explore in the trying to get back to doing airbrush again, but I'm not there just yet. Whenever I pick up an airbrush, I end up painting like a painting a barn, big. We might as well use a spray can. So I know I've got a compressor for that, and certainly I've got three airbrushes. I've got a compressor, which I'm not sure how you'd actually go about streaming because that's really loud. I think I'm getting this. Let's see here. Getting kind of a gradation from the yellow down to orange to darker to kind of give that feeling of heat. But, and I am, of course, painting on top of what I already painted. So I was doing this and I just wasn't feeling it. And I kind of like backed up and had to start over. I think it's getting there. I was just playing some Conan Exiles and thought, I shouldn't spend all day doing this. I'm going to paint a little bit at least. Um, there's a YouTube channel, Midwinter Minis, and the guy that runs at it, they do a really good job on there. And I was just watching that while I was playing Conan Exiles. And it's like, I need to paint. So anywhere we've got crevices, we kind of have to think in reverse, because you want it to feel like heat's coming from the center and cooling on the outside. So you want the feeling that there's heat down inside, and as it gets more away, it's cooler. So this is kind of a weird weekend for me because I am an American and I should be celebrating 4th of July, but I live in Canada. So they celebrate Canada Day, which was Thursday, last week Thursday. And my company I work with, I work remotely for a US company, so they didn't have it off, so neither did I. So I didn't really get a holiday at all. I don't know how well this is working with. So this is um, being streamed through my cell phone, which is a Pixel 4. And it seems to have some weird, like, I don't know if you call it tearing or digital artifacting or what you'd call it. But when you have movement, I find it sometimes gives like a kind of digitalized mess. I don't know. And it seems to only happen when it's streaming. Like if I was to record a movie with my phone and move around, it's just fine. It's something to do with the streaming through Twitch. Now, I was going to do this directly at my YouTube channel because the YouTube channel is there and that's where these all get uploaded to anyway. So when I'm done streaming, I upload it to the YouTube channel. So I thought, well, I'll just stream on YouTube. But um, YouTube says you need 1,000 subscribers to be able to stream live from your phone. I'm like, okay, well, I don't have 1,000 subscribers, so I guess I'm going to be using Twitch. They got kind of muddy in this area here. Hmm. Not sure how I feel about this. I guess, I'm going to just keep moving forward and then we'll kind of take a look at the end. I mean, with these black dots I put on here, the idea was that I'm breaking off from this edge, but it didn't really sell well. So I think I might have to go back in and do some detailing after the fact. But I think once we get, if I can get the tone down here, getting a little messy. My brain keeps going back to this would be so much easier with an airbrush. Whenever I stream with Twitch, whether I'm doing it, I have a gaming channel, which I don't want to really be part of this, but whenever I stream on that, I always get at least one viewer. And I see right now it says I have one viewer, and it just makes me think it's Twitch kind of just putting a viewer on there just because it feels bad for you. Like there's not really a person watching, they're just putting one viewer so you feel like, oh, I am doing it for someone. I don't know, does it look like it is hot? Like it's lava? If you know this model very well, this is the Warhammer Orc Wyvern. Typically, people painted green because of orcs, and frankly, because of wyverns. But I wanted to do something a little different with it, and I even changed the shape of it. So it's a very straight model. It's like straight line here, but I cut it and turned it so that it has more of a slithering snake feeling. I don't really play Warhammer, so I just wanted to paint one of these. Okay, this is a really dark area here, so we kind of want to create, that wasn't good, create some highlight. Yeah, I'm not afraid to touch it. When it comes to painting figures like Warhammer, I am a bit of a, well, with anything, I even have a bunch of confrontation figures because I'm really all in it about creatures. I like creatures, not so much interested in painting people. And when you look at like people that like doing Space Marines. I'm like, it's a little bit too people-y for me. I don't, not really looking to do people. And then I wanted, I wouldn't mind trying a Sister of Battle army. So I bought one figure, and it's just, compared to orcs and things, it's just so tiny. It feels so small, and the details in it, because they're not dirty, ugly orcs, it feels like the details have to be so precise. It was a really intimidating figure. I haven't even primed it or put it together or anything yet. I've just been avoiding it. Painting on camera is pretty interesting. You gotta really trust yourself because you can't get up close to see. See if I can highlight some of these veins. And of course, doing it in opposite is how you would be highlighting for the heat. Now, if you look over on the YouTube channel, there is a video on how I prepped this thing. Used chisels and all kinds of things to put extra grooves in it and cut it up. But I've seen some people using Dremels and things and cutting like tearing the wings really intricately. It looks very cool. See if I can knock down some of this heat here. It's a little too hyper. Let's see. Kind of losing the shape of the leg there. Now the base for this is really big. It's supposed to go something like this. But I'm not so sure I want to maybe mount it on something. Of course, everyone would mount it on a big rock, or I don't know. I'm gonna have to think about it. Need to add some gradation to the horns and the teeth and the claws. Because right now they're just bright white. I don't know. I think it's getting there. It's like, it's getting somewhere at least. Again, I want to knock down this hot yellow here. It's a little too hot. Looks like we got feet here that don't even have any paint on them. So I'll start with something here. I have to go with red. These are further away from the heat of the body, so they would be cooler, of course. But let's make sure they have something on them. Try to create some feeling of muscle here. Now, while we have the wet orange here, I'm going to add some more red, and we'll try to get into some of these darker areas. Again, these paints like to get a ring of plastic or dried paint around the edge. It worries me. Okay. Give this a bit of a mix. Doesn't even seem that drastic. Here we go. Okay. I think that's kind of working. Way off the screen here. There we go. Not liking what's happening there. It's getting a little bit too, well, I guess maybe it's not too bad, but getting off the screen again. I think we're getting some gradation there. Now, we're gonna have to go in with some darker red if I have it. I bought the big, the mega paint set from Army Painter, so I think there's probably a darker red in there. I'm actually kind of liking this. I'd love to come up with a technique to give kind of a scale pattern to this, whether that's like speckling it or something. I'm not sure exactly what's going on with the crotch area here. I mean, realistically, you're not going to be seeing much of this when it's on base, but nothing worse than a burning crotch, you know. So I've heard. Okay, I think it's looking much more blended now from the yellow. The yellow feels like it's in the cracks and the highlighting the heat that's within the dragon, hopefully, the wyvern. I'm really got my fingers crossed that when we put the gloss on this, it's going to do a big contrast between this cooled lava rock back and the hot body of the wyvern. I hope that's the effect it's going to get. Like if I go in here and just do some like delicate speckling. I'm not sure if it's worth the effort or not. Let's see. I think it's too early to be on this really. Is that creating a texture? Camera gets confused easily, doesn't it? Let me see if I can find that darker red here. Well, I found a couple choices. We have glistening blood, but this looks like it's a little bit purple, which I'm not exactly sure is the direction we want to go, because you put it next to the pure red. Look how purple it is. So maybe the better choice would be this one, which is a dragon blood or dragon red. This looks way less scary to use. So I'm going to give this a shake. I don't believe I've even used this yet. So Some people have those fancy vibrating things that mix the paint. I do not. Already coming out. Great. I'm going to kind of put this off to the side so that I have an opportunity to mix it if I want. Great. Let's get this cleaned up a bit. Just going to wet the brush here. Well, it is definitely a darker red. Let's give it a chance to dry there a bit. I'll put a few spots here and there just to get an idea of some contrast. Not sure how I feel about that. Looks like a good color to put in like detail areas with, I guess. Maybe along the neck here. Hmm. Certainly helps add some depth in areas. Be a good color for that foot we missed. So what do we think of this? Does it seem like it's working out? I really don't know how entertaining watching someone paint is. I'm mainly doing this so I can upload it to YouTube. But I think we're getting there. We're getting this gradation. Now I'm hoping I can go in with a smaller brush and do some detailing work in here to give it less of a smooth feeling and more like there's a texture of some sort in here. That's the plan at least. And then once everything's finally done, we'll go in and start doing the gloss or semi-gloss to kind of make this feel kind of wet and kind of hot and like lava. And then we're going to leave this flat to create the cooled lava rock feeling. And then ultimately this poor bastard has to sit on it, and I don't envy his butt. So we'll see how this goes. All right. Thanks for joining me. As I said, I upload all of these to the Heavy Handed Hobbies on YouTube. I also have an Instagram, and I mean, certainly it'd be great if the channels all take off and everything's wonderful, but that's not really why I'm doing this. I'm doing it just because I was inspired by Midwinter Minis. His videos are so awesome, and I thought, I wouldn't mind sharing the hobby with people. So if you enjoy this, feel free to subscribe if you feel I deserve it, and follow me and over on YouTube too. That'd be nice. But all right, so next time I might do some of these details off camera, but because it's kind of hard to do with the camera here, but we'll see. All right, if there really is one viewer there, like it says, thank you for joining, one viewer. Okay, bye.